Hi, another video again. After a relatively tricky set of videos and set of equations where we're solving simultaneous equations, we're now going to have a look at solving linear inequalities. This makes it quite a bit easier. So, let's have a look at a real basic one. If I had 3x plus 2 is less than or equal to 17, we just solve it like we would do a normal inequality or a normal equation. Forget the fact this is an inequality, just treat it as an equals. The first thing we do is we get rid of the plus 2. So we've got 3x rather than equals 15 is less than or equal to 15. Divide by 3 to get x is less than or equal to 5. It really is that simple. Okay. So what about if a question looks like this? So I've got minus 8 is less than or equal to 4x, which is less than 16. It looks kind of tricky because I've got two sets of inequalities here, but all you do is you just treat them separately. So if I was going to solve 4x is less than 16, that would be x is less than 4. Dead easy. Then what you do, move over to this side and solve 4x is greater than or equal to minus 8, divide by 4, and we get x is greater than or equal to minus 2. That's the first one. What about though if the numbers don't go nicely? So what about if we've got 4 is less than or equal to 5x, which is less than 10. So the first one is nice. So that's going to be x is less than 2. This one isn't quite so nice, so we leave it as a fraction, so 4/5. And that's it. Okay, how much harder can they get? Well, 2x might just, this is the next example that's on the paper. You don't need to worry too much about it. We've just had a look at how to do these. So 2x minus 5 is less than 7. So the first thing we do is we get rid of this minus 5. So we add it just like we do normally to the other side. So I've got 2x is less than 12. X is less than, so divide by 2, 6. Right, okay, so things that you need to know which aren't necessarily quite so obvious. So if we've got 2 minus 5x is greater than or equal to minus 8. Now it's up to you what you do with this one. I'm going to do it two ways in fact. First of all, I'm going to get rid of this 2. So if I get rid of the 2, I take away from that side, take away from this side, we've got minus 5x is greater than or equal to minus 10. Because remember, if I'm going to take away 2, if I've got minus 8, so minus 8 is a negative number, take away 2, it gets more negative, so it's going to be minus 10. Then if I divide by minus 5, I've got x, and minus 10 divided by minus 5 is going to equal 2. But whenever you multiply or divide by a negative number with inequalities, these things flip the other way. So it's going to go this way there. So x is less than or equal to 2. Like I said, I was going to do that two ways, so this is the answer here. I'm going to leave the answer there. So let's do it a slightly different way. So I'm getting, in fact, let me move that down a little bit. X is less than or equal to 2. So if we do it the other way, if I've got minus 5x, one way of getting rid of it without having to remember when you multiply or divide, you flip the signs, I'm going to move this over to this side. So I'm going to add 5x to this side, I'm going to add 5x to this side. So 2 is greater than minus 8 plus 5x. I'm then going to add 8 to this side. So I've got 10 is greater than or equal to 5x. And I'm going to divide by 5. So I've got divide by 5. 2 is greater than or equal to x, which is exactly the same as this. Remember, 2 is greater than or equal to x is the same as x is less than or equal to 2. Remember, if I move the x over to this side and 2 over to this side, then I would flip the signs again. So just a thing there, just to remember to flip the signs where you, when you multiply or divide by anything negative. Finally, again, not a tricky question. 4 lots of x minus 2 is greater than 3 lots of 9 minus x. So I'm going to multiply out both brackets. So we get 4x minus 8 is greater than 27 minus 3x. And I'm going to cut the x on this side because there's more of them. So I'm going to add 3x onto this side. Remember, I'm not multiplying minus 3x, I'm just going to add 3x onto this side. That's going to be 7x minus 8 is greater than 27. I'm going to get rid of that minus 8 by adding it onto this side. So I've got 7x is greater than 35. And I'm going to divide by 7, x is greater than 5. And that's it. Hopefully this should be a fair chunk easier than some of the other stuff that you've been doing, but you do need to know it anyway. Because inequalities does get a little bit harder, but we need to know these are the basics. Okay, well done if you got that.